It's fantastic. Good, good. All right. So thank you all for being here. Yay! So like I said, and maybe you didn't hear me, today is episode 2 of Between the Pages, and I'm here at my desk instead of in front of my books. I miss all my books, but I brought, these are not all the books he's written, and these are obviously not all the books I've read by him, but all the ones that I currently own. So, Christopher Moore's Shakespeare for Squirrels is another installment of the Pocket series. Well, it's a series following the character of Pocket. It started with Fool, went on to Serpent of Venice. The rest of these are just here because it's pretty. And I have really enjoyed watching, reading the evolution of Pocket's character. Thank you. Okay, so, hi Fields, welcome in everybody. I'm gonna jump right in. We've got a few people in here. I'm really happy to see all of you. And I'm gonna begin with the synopsis that I got off of Goodreads, and if you aren't on Goodreads, you are a bad reader. Bad reader. Holy upgrade. It looks better, good. It's the same camera, I'm just using a different computer. Thank you. Alright, so we're gonna jump right in. Shakespeare for Squirrels by Christopher Moore. Set adrift by his pirate crew, Pocket of Dog Snogging, last seen in the Serpent of Venice, washes up on the sun-bleached shores of Greece, where he hopes to dazzle the Duke with his comedic brilliance and become his trusted fool. But the island is in turmoil. Agus, the Duke's minister, is furious that his daughter Hermia is determined to marry Demetrius instead of Lysander, the man he has chosen for her. The Duke decrees that if, by the time of the wedding, Hermia still refuses to marry Lysander, she shall be executed or consigned to a nunnery. Pocket, being Pocket, cannot help but point out that this decree is complete bollocks, and that the Duke is an egregious weasel for having even suggested it. Irritated by the fool's impudence, the Duke orders his death. With the Duke's guards in pursuit, Pocket makes a daring escape. He soon stumbles into the wooded realm of the fairy king, Oberon, who, as luck would have it, is in short a fool. His jester Robin Goodfellow, the mischievous sprite better known as Puck, was found dead, murdered. Oberon makes Pocket an offer he can't refuse. He will make Pocket his fool and have his death sentence lifted if Pocket finds out who killed Robin Goodfellow. But as anyone who is even vaguely aware of the Bard's most performed play ever will know, nearly every character has a motive for wanting the mischievous sprite dead. Anyway, with too many suspects and too little time, Pocket must work his own kind of magic to find the truth, save his neck, and ensure that all ends well. A roll-ticking tale of love, magic, madness, and murder, Shakespeare for Squirrels is a Midsummer Night's Dream noir, a wicked and brilliantly funny good time conjured by the singular imagination of Christopher Moore. This synopsis is brought to you by a Goodreads fellow. So, let's unpack a little bit, just a little bit. So, if you've ever read A Midsummer Night's Dream, ever watched the movie A Midsummer Night's Dream, you will notice that they have characters in there that have transcended throughout our literary times. And to be more specific, and as you will know from last episode, my first episode, I have been obsessed with Jim Butcher's Dresden Files series. And one of the characters that stood out in A Midsummer Night's Dream and Shakespeare for Squirrels by Christopher Moore is the character of Titania. Now, Titania in A Midsummer Night's Dream is the fairy queen that opposes her husband Oberon. That's well known if you know Midsummer Night's Dream. Even if you don't know Midsummer Night's Dream and you've read this book, you know that's the thing. Titania is also a character in the video game Warframe. Warframe is a huge online game that people like to play. I have no experience in it, but after reading this book, after researching a little bit, I'm really interested in giving it a shot. So, Warframe, the the link I found there, I wasn't going to mention this iteration of the character as it was a loose tie. But as I read into the Warframe's Titania, which is a pixie character in the video game, pixies and fairies are not the same, just so we're clear, I found a stronger tie to the Fae Queen. Titania's alternate helm, Mab, refers to William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet, in which Mercutio speaks of Queen Mab, a fairy that enchants humans with dreams of their greatest desires. This can be found at warframe.com. Additionally, there is another character in the Warframe game called Oberon, so that's another stronger tie into it. Coffee. All of the coffee. This is my favorite mug. Shh, don't tell anybody. One of my mods will be mad that I had this mug on camera. Anyway, so I'm going to give some thought into trying Warframe. Does anyone know if I can play it on console or if that's something I gotta do on PC? Please let me know. Anyway, continuing on. As I mentioned before, I'm obsessed with Harry Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. And Titania, mentioned in his books, is Titania in the Dresden Files is the queen of the Summer Fairy Court, and Mab, also mentioned in Warframe, is the queen of the Winter Fairy Court. There are so many links here. There's so much to connect, and I just get super excited by that. I'm so sorry. So continuing on, I wanted to go a little farther into Dresden, but I didn't want to take away from Christopher Moore, because, you know, he is incredible. He is amazing. I highly recommend all of these books. There are a lot of other books, especially, I was really obsessed with the lizard, oh god. It's like the mischievous lust lizard of Pine Cove or something like that. It's a trilogy, and it's super incredible. It's free on console. Sweet. Thorsenheim, we gotta check that out together. Oberon and Titania are also mentioned in anime. So, yep, that is something I'm gonna mention in a minute. Thorsenheim, you were super quick on that. I love it. Question: Will there be a drinking stream? Oh, okay. So Thorsenheim's gonna skip ahead for me. The reference to the Oberon and Titania in Sword Art Online was loose but decent. That entire portion of the Sword Art Online story takes place in Alfheim. I hope I said that right. Please tell me if I said Alfheim right. Home of the fairies, with Nobuyuki, I'm hoping I said that right, playing the role of Oberon as their king. He has captured Asuna. Asuna? I'm going to say Asuna. Something like that. And given her the role of Titania, his queen, but she lives out her days in a gilded cage, I'm so sorry, the type is small, until she will agree to give Nobuyuki what he wants, her hand in marriage. I think it's a pretty decent nod to the Midsummer Night's Dream, because the idea is to force Titania to fall in love with a jackass. I love it. Oh, no, it's fine, Renegade. You keep your questions. I don't care. I'm here to have fun with you guys, and this is an opportunity for you guys to see me in my element as a librarian. Love it. Love it. Anyway, so thank you so much, Thorsenheim, for giving me a more in-depth look at the Sword Art Online tie. I saw a little bit of it. I mention it later in my script. Oberon from the Sword Art Online, Nobuyuki is the primary antagonist in Sword Art Online, who kidnaps Asuna, one of the main characters, and marries her while she's unconscious. He takes on the identity of Oberon, the Fairy King, and makes Asuna his queen, Titania. Love it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the interjection there. Alright, so another link in the chain, Titania, is mentioned in D&D, very briefly, in the 5th edition. So this is included as it seems to be a direct link to the Dresden Files. I don't know which came first. This is a chicken and the egg to me, so if anyone has the answer to this, please, please, please let me know. I'm going to the lone shot author, which is Jim Butcher, and see if his portrayal came first, or if Titania from D&D came first. Since it's the 5th edition, Jim Butcher's been writing for a long time, so I don't know. Anyway, so Titania is the queen of the fairies and magic and rules the Seelie court with her partner Oberon. The proud queen is also the head of the summer court, a division in the Seelie court. She and Oberon live in a massive forest complex known as the Tree Castle. It is located in the Great Tree and home to her numerous minions, and that can be found on the 5th edition of D&D.com. So I'm super excited to look into that. Again, I don't want to take too much time on Jim Butcher because this is actually about Christopher Moore. And Christopher Moore has, as a Shakespeare student, a student of Shakespeare, please, Dr. Wadia, please, 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 let me see some videos of you talking more about Shakespeare. I used to hate Shakespeare. Honestly, I walked into my English Shakespeare class and I was angry that I had this giant book. It was this thick. I had to carry around this book for an entire semester, and I was furious at the prospect. And then I walked in, and Dr. Wadia at APSU changed my life, changed my perspective on Shakespeare. We studied Merchant of Venice. Please give that play, that film, that book, give it a shot. And then please come read Serpent of Venice. You will not regret it. This satirical writing style, I can't tell you, I cannot even express how incredible it is to know the behind the scenes jokes and jabs, because while Serpent of Venice and King Lear are basically, King Lear, Fool is more or less about King Lear, and Serpent of Venice is about Merchant of Venice. But there were also nods in there, like Othello's in there. Othello is one of my favorites. We studied Othello that semester. It was incredible. Titus Andronicus, by the way. For whatever reason, if Christopher Moore sees this, please, please, please give me something for Titus Andronicus. It is my favorite play. Blood, guts, and gore. Yes, please. Anyway, to continue on, Titania is also featured in a young adult series by the name of Sisters Grimm. I have not read any of this. I have no experience with it, but from reading the synopsis, I am very interested in exploring it. So, the Sisters Grimm is a direct representation from Shakespeare's original character. Titania is the fairy queen from Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night's Dream. In the Sisters Grimm series, she is revealed to be the queen of fairy. She is married to Oberon the king and has 2 sons by him, called Puck, her eldest son, who is also the heir to the throne of fairy, and Mustard Seed. It is also probable that her and her family originate from Greece due to the play being set in that country. Now, the last link in the chain that I have to mention, I unfortunately don't have enough information to go in depth with it, and the moderator that was supposed to be here that did have the information, he unfortunately was pulled away. So all I've got is Titania is mentioned in the anime Fairy Tale, and it's only brief. The character's name is Urza Scarlet, and she is nicknamed the Fairy Queen Titania, as her magic guild is called Fairy Tale, and she is one of the most powerful sword mages. So that's a loose link, but it's still a link nonetheless, and that's given us a lot to talk about for Titania, Oberon, and the like. I can't even express to you how incredible it was to read this. This is his brand new book. I was shaken. It was great. I laughed till I cried, and I was super excited to share this with you. So excited, in fact, that I bumped my first installment of a series in regards to Tolkien to next week, so I could tell you how much I loved this book as it was fresh. And if you guys know anything about me, Tolkien is my life. Like, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but like, my tattoo Yeah, you can see like a little bit of it. That's all you got. I love Tolkien. He is incredible, and I can't wait for next week's episode. So what do we got, chat? And check out these Thorsenheim, Dresden Files, Jim Butcher. Also, everyone who is here right now, and anyone who reads this later, sees this later, go to your local library. If you do not already have a library card, get one. And then get the app called Overdrive. Put your library card information in there, and you have instant access to their entire reserve of audio and ebooks. On your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, wherever, you can get Overdrive as an app. Please do it. Support your local libraries. Please, please, please. I can't stress that enough. All right. Anyway, so yes, Thorsenheim, please, please check out Dresden Files. That is not an anime that I'm very familiar with, unfortunately. Okay. It seems that the vast majority of Oberon interpretations that I've come across yes, Oberon is always an ass. And unless we're talking about Game of Thrones, and then he's the love of my life, back off. Oh, Renegade, do you like my ink? I love my ink. It's my pride and joy. I love it. Yes, get Overdrive. Support your local libraries. Very important to me. I will consider it a personal favor. As a librarian, as a gamer, as everything, just please do this for me. One of my best friends got this for me when I graduated from my master's. I love it. It's my favorite. So any questions? Anything else that we can talk about? This has been a great segment, guys. I'm really happy to see the interaction. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. I highly recommend this book. I got it I bought this copy. I pre-ordered this copy. But I was able to listen on my bike rides, because you know that I always go on my bike rides. I was able to listen to it, even though it was a brand new book, on Overdrive from my library. And you can put multiple library cards on there. Like, I have 2 right now, because there are a couple systems near me, and I'm a part of those libraries. Who is my favorite character in this particular Moore book, or in all the Moore books? Oh, goodness. Because if it's this... Who's my favorite character in this and why? I mean, I always love Pocket. He's the main character. And I hardly ever like main characters. I always think they're pretentious pops. But Pocket is, like, he's genuine, and he will tell you when you're being, like, a snotting fop and whatnot. And I love it so much. And also, there's hardly ever a character that's, like, just good. Christopher Moore always writes characters with, like, relatable morals and characteristics. Like, you can be a good person. There are good characters. But he also tells you their flaws, and he exploits them and their weaknesses, and it's incredible. Like, that's why Pocket is actually my favorite character, because he's genuine about it. He never, like, puts on airs or pretends that he doesn't have flaws. He just, like, pops in his head, and he's incredibly intelligent. He comes up with all of these plots and schemes to get out of things, and it's incredible. Needs a little... Right, every character needs a little bit of grime. Like, that's usually my complaint about heroes in books, heroes or heroines in books, is that they are, like, portrayed on this pedestal. And, like, that's probably why, like, I love Harry Potter, like, the series. I don't like Harry Potter, the character. He gets on my nerves. So bad. Oh, anyway. Alright, so, like I said, next week, please be prepared for, hopefully, me and Thorsenheim. and maybe Masamune. All three of us talking about J.R.R. Tolkien, and we're gonna start. It's gonna be a series. We're gonna start with his biography, him as a person, and his past, and then we're gonna move on in different segments. Him as an author, his works, and their ripple effects throughout our society. Those might go a little long because whenever it comes to Tolkien, I can talk a lot. Whenever it comes to Tolkien, I can talk to Thorsenheim a lot, and it just snowballs. It's great. I love it. Thank you so much. I hope you can help with that, Veiled. I appreciate you so much. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream, but I'll be back in a couple of minutes. We're going to take a tour of my Minecraft realm. Hopefully Thorsenheim will jump in chat, and he can tell us all about his creations that he made there. If I do this quickly enough, we can actually have It's Cosmic tell us about his build and his house. So I'm going to wrap up. Thank you guys so much for stopping in. I appreciate it so much, and I will catch you in a bit.